Question is that this bill now be read a second time. I call the member for Rockdale.
Madam Speaker, I rise to speak on the Fair Trade Amendment Commercial Agents Bill 2016. Yeah, I'm just kind of like going to have a bit of fun with it. But I rise to speak on this bill, which the opposition is not opposing but seeking amendments in the other place. Oh, actually in this place. In particular, I hold great concern with the removal of a positive licensing scheme operating in the field in a face-to-face capacity with client debtors. My grave concern is that this legislation will open the door and accelerate undesirable representation in this marketplace. Let's put it into perspective. Once this bill's through in its current form, all that will be required to be a business operator, debt collector, is a business card and essentially an ABN, which we all know are fairly easy to attain. This is not the type of start-up business our state is seeking. This is not the type of business that we're seeking a reduction in barriers to entry. What you will find is that the type of operators it will attract are people that actually can scare people into paying something on the spot. Now, the general debtor out there, and say the debtor with real problems, suffers from either can be suffering from insolvency or real hardship. Now, once you're confronted by operators that are quite potentially, hoods or real undesirables coming into this marketplace and standing over people, scaring the hell out of them, and putting them in a vulnerable in a position where God knows what could come from this type of activity and fear-based activity. I think it's essential that we try and forecast what the outcome will be. And what we'll have is an abundance of operators entering this space that essentially in due course we're going to have to turn around and put an order to it. So why get ourselves in this position, put ourselves in this position now, put that marketplace create a mess that we have to unwind and pull back in place later on. So I actually believe that we'll have a situation become like the Wild West. Your typical profile, your typical debt collector will become a 6'7" in height, the width of a tank, and we're going to have vulnerable people at the door, debtors that have got real problems. And let's get it straight. Let's understand these. The people that are in that position where they owe money and can't pay it are in a bad state. And I know when I was in practice, I was in a professional practice where we had client relations. We tried to divorce ourselves from that part of the divorce ourselves from that debt collecting process. So we would, engage organisations that, would be a lot more clinical than we would be with our own clients. But once it gets to a stage where there's no prospect of any future business with this debtor, and it becomes very frustrating when your firm or your business has incurred a lot of time or costs associated with this debt. Emotions run high, and what you do find is that you can become quite willing to engage with people that will go a lot harder to collect that money. But at least while you had a licensed regime, you had an order, you had 300, say, operators out there that work within a framework. What we could have is a situation where we won't know how many are out there. We'll only know that by the virtue of the fact that they've got an ABN and a business name. And maybe you could identify them through the business name when their business name is, something like Wild West Collectors or, Hard and Horrible. But what I'm trying to say is we won't know what's out there, and so therefore let's not get ourselves in a mess from day one. Let's look at the amendments that the opposition is proposing and make the right decision now. Thanks, Mr. Speaker.